Welcome back, young Padawans. I'm here to give you the gaming news that brings us into August. The latest press release for the upcoming WWE has been announced with the intent to reignite the series' past glory. The game will have a lot more crowd interactions, which will hopefully add to its atmosphere. Along with that, there is enhanced, smoother gameplay and hundreds of new animations. And despite copping a fair amount of negative feedback, the 3DS XL has shipped over 200,000 units on its first weekend in Japan. The DS itself didn't even do quite so well, selling only 100,000 units. And there'll likely be a party in Australia this week because Borderlands 2 is being globally released without censorship. The official blog assures Germans and Australians that bandits will be equally likely to explode into bloody chunks of awesomeness as they might be in Canada or England, which is to say, very likely. And Sony has actually admitted to a shortfall, with the Vita not selling nearly as well as they'd hoped. Sony's entertainment division lost £28.7 million in the first quarter of last year, but all they really have to say about the Vita is that they haven't hit the spot on killer software. In the Vita's defense, however, Little Big Planet is due to come out in September. And finally, EA have made a hopelessly average game free-to-play in an attempt to keep it alive. Apparently the Star Wars name wasn't nearly enough to make people actually play The Old Republic. Since its pretty successful launch, the game's profits have gone significantly downhill, and the game has only just hit under 1 million subscribers. It's not surprising since the game's Metacritic score has just as many zeros as you've seen since The Room on IMDb. Last week in the comments, I asked you guys about your zombie apocalypse plan. There was mention of remote farms, schools, red vs blue, but I think I can relate to Goblin Shaft 69's comment the most when he said he'd go to Bill Murray's house and not shoot the guy. Sounds like a great way to spend the apocalypse if I don't say so myself. Might be a little slow on this one, but I'm currently playing Prototype 2. The game was received surprisingly badly, but it still has the absolutely brilliant combat system of the first one. You play the role of an angry, virus-carrying anti-hero whose main goal is to destroy the people who created the virus in the first place, as they made it as a bioweapon. Which brings me to this week's question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? Invisibility? Flight? Let us know in the comments below. That's all this week, guys. Stay tuned for next week's episode of Non-Specific Action.